Welcome back to the Wizard Shop, and today we're going to talk about this 2011 Lotus Evora and the steering issues that it has.
Wizard!
I don't understand what's going on right now.
No, Wizard.
Where did you even get that?
It's in your shop. Toodaloo!
What in the world?
Dusty up here.
Yeah. I guess just don't run into the Lotus, please.
No problem. Easy. Sit down. Yep. Ah! Whoa!
Okay, back to the Lotus right after this. So this car has actually been in the shop before. We did serpentine belt, we did services on it, we did shifter cables, all kinds of upgrades and things. But since then, he's been having issues with his steering. He said it kind of was there before, but now it's getting worse.
So that's not one of the Toyota parts, I assume?
No, that is a Lotus part.
Yes.
What do you think about this thing?
I think they are fantastic cars, and I love that they have a back seat. You would never think, when you look inside, that this car actually has a back seat for children, which makes it one of the few exotic cars, mid-engine that has it.
Little children like your little children.
Well, yes, my little children. That's why I would consider buying one of these, just for that.
Yeah, it is a really cool car, and like you said, the Toyota engine that's in the back, that saves a lot of money on repairs.
Certainly. Yeah, there's a lot of non-Toyota around it, though, which is where you make the... Yes?
Where I make the money.
It does this thing, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you would drive this car, if you steered to the right, it was perfectly smooth. But only to the left, the steering wheel would chatter pretty bad. And he actually was on an exit ramp on the highway, and as he was coming along, he hit a small little pothole, and it made the problem worse while he was doing a left turn. And it was like a death wobble. It was pretty scary to him.
Like a Jeep? Huh.
Like a Jeep, I guess. Let's take a look in the engine bay. So we're going to open the rear hatch and take a look at the engine bay. Where do you think you would open the rear hatch at?
Yeah, I assume in the car somewhere. Aston Martin does the weird thing with the gas cap, or the hood latch and the gas cap. Something like that?
No, it can only be opened with this.
With the fob. So does it have a frunk?
There we go, we opened it.
Surely it has a frunk. Yes, a little frunk. So that's why.
So no, there's no storage in the front. This is your storage right here.
I see. And a second spoiler.
Yeah, I think that might be the original spoiler.
I see. Well.
But you take these little deals loose.
Oh. I definitely want to cover up the fact that it's a Toyota, huh?
Yes.
Yep.
And you can see inside of there is a Toyota 3.5 V6. You can see the forward bank of cylinders there. The other bank is underneath the intake. But the reason why we're back here is that the power steering pump is back here. And it's one of the issues you would think, well, maybe it's a power steering pump issue, but it actually was not. So all the exotic cars that come through the shop, all of them have bad trunk struts, and no one ever wants to pay to replace them.
I do.
You do?
I always do it for you.
Yeah, I suppose you do, but most of the people are like, $200 to put new struts? I don't open the hatch.
It's got a little fresh air thingy going into a thingy.
Yeah, it's fresh air.
Yes.
Back into there.
Yes, there's a hole for it.
Yep.
It looks like rain would get into it, though.
I think it's just to keep heat out of the engine bay.
Oh, okay.
With steering problems, you would think, I'll take that before you break it. No, you can wear it.
I'm RoboCop.
Yeah. What is something that RoboCop says?
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. So with those kinds of issues in the steering wheel, you would think, could it be loose control arms? Could it be an out of balance wheel? We went through all of those things. The suspension was tight up front. There's nothing loose. The tires were balanced. There was no issues with the tires themselves either. They weren't out of round. When you cruise on the highway straight, it was perfectly smooth. The only had issue with the turning of the left. It would actually do that sitting still without even driving it, just the engine sitting there idling. You try to turn to the left.
Well, he could have only made right turns and he would have been fine.
Yeah. What does NASCAR take? Left turn?
Left turns, yeah.
Oh, I guess it wouldn't work for NASCAR.
No.
If they reversed it, it would.
Right, yes.
This car would be perfect for that. So this car is actually pretty fast, but it doesn't have 400 and 500 and 600 horsepower. It's not like his Murcielago or something crazy and unreal power. The Toyota V6 puts out 275 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque, roughly. But it's so light and so nimble, it's actually pretty fast. That's one of the things Magic Mike likes about this car is the Toyota engine, that if anything breaks, you can go to your local auto parts store, thermostat, water pump, timing belt. So with all that power, you get going, you don't want your steering wheel doing this. Here's how we found out what was wrong with this car, is we removed the serpentine belt off the car. We only drove it for 1 minute, just around the building actually. And while the belt was off, the problems were gone. Perfect, smooth. I mean, it was stiff steering. It was kind of like that with stiff steering.
Yes. Stiff.
It was pretty stiff.
Stiff.
But the shaking was completely gone.
Huh.
So the power steering pump's putting out good pressure. It doesn't have any issues going to the right, only to the left. That's not going to be a power steering pump.
Pressure, stiff, shake,
Stiff.
power. Yes.
Thrust.
Okay, I see where you're getting.
Okay, so we pulled the steering rack off. Here it is.
That is not a nice rack.
No, it is not. This is the problem.
It looks fine.
It looks fine?
Yes.
It looks fine, but inside it's not. This valving that's inside of here is bad.
That?
Inside of here, yes. There's valves inside. It's an orbital style valve. It gives you your power steering.
I can't see anything.
No, you can't see anything? Well, you'd
No.
have to take it all apart to see it. We're not going to do that.
Oh. Doing labor in a Car Wizard video? No.
No, we don't do that.
No, we only talk about doing stuff.
We don't actually do it. So, I did some research, and it's actually a common issue with this model of car. Also on the Elise, they have a lot of steering rack issues. So we know it's not the power steering pump, but we do know when we remove the belt, the shake is 100% gone. If it was a suspension issue, a tire issue, a balance issue, brake rotors or something like that, the issue would still be there. Just because you remove the serpentine belt wouldn't stop that. But when we removed the serpentine belt and took away the power steering away from this rack, the rack's fine except for the power steering portion of it.
I see. So new rack.
It should have a new rack, but these are unobtainium. $2,500, $3,000 for a new rack. And I contacted several suppliers and they were like, yeah, no, you're not going to get one. You're not going to find this on Rock Auto either. It's not going to happen. So if they could get one, it could be 6 months, 9 months, over a year. You're just not going to get a brand new one. So the only other option is I'm going to ship it to a company in Houston called Atco. They have rebuilt a steering rack on the blue-colored Ferrari 360 you guys have seen in the shop before, and they did a very good job. That's where we'll be sending this, and they can do it for a third the price of a new steering rack.
So like $1,000.
Yeah, $1,000 they can rebuild it. Everything else is good on here. The tie rod, the inner tie rods are fine. There's nothing loose. It's just inside the valving.
I see. So then you'll get the rebuild back. You'll put it back in.
Put it back in, and the steering should be gone.
Yes.
And that'll take care of his crazy wonky steering.
Wonderful.
It actually was kind of scary to him. It's dangerous. So
Yes, certainly.
definitely don't need going off in a ditch in a wonderful car like that. So
Okay. So what's the turnaround?
probably a couple weeks is what it sounds like.
It's the holidays.
Yeah.
They're not using it anyway. It's wintertime. Okay. It's quicker than a Bentley fuel distributor rebuild. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
isn't that crazy?
It was like 2 months. So
Yeah, it was just to get that thing taken care of.
yeah. What do you? Oh, a slight alignment issue there, huh?
Yeah, it's a little bit out of alignment now.
All right. Yeah. Well,
It's actually the other way.
Oh, yes, you're right. Oh, it's a plie. Yes. Pull. Yes. Okay.
With those steering rack in your car, this is what would happen if you drive down the road.
Well, that looks a little more dangerous than that, Wizard.
Yeah, I definitely shouldn't drive it right now at all.
Obviously. Yes.
And if you were to back up, it will go the other way.
Okay, that. Yes.
Okay.
All right. I had to wear shoes when I was a kid on the other foot because of that.
Really?
Yeah, my feet were growing weird.
Oh, weird. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I fixed it. Yes.
Putting the left shoe on the right?
Yeah, I was a defective kid at birth. Yes.
Wow.
Among other things, and my feet were messed up.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes. Mentally,
Learn
everything
something.
else is in my head.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. So you're not going to let me drive it today, I imagine, yes?
No, no one's driving it right now.
Okay.
You probably would get hurt.
Probably. Yes.
If not, the car would get hurt. Let's take a look around the car. Let you guys check out all the angles.
All the angles.
Yep. Has a real menacing English front end. It looks almost Aston Martin-ish.
Yes, I assume this isn't factory, yes?
That is not the factory color. That is a wrap.
Wrap. So what's the original color?
The original color, we'll open the door and I'll show you.
Aha. Oh, it's silver. Yes.
Yep, it's originally a silver car.
Okay.
This guy that owns this car is an owner of a company, and this is his company colors, the gray and the blue and the yellow.
Is he Batman?
No, he's not Batman. Maybe he thinks he is. I don't know if he thinks he is or not. I don't think so.
And the spoiler, obviously, as we saw, isn't factory, but it looks very appropriate, yes?
Yeah.
So the stock one would go skadoosh, but this
Straight
one goes...
across. This one goes a little higher, yep.
It's a good-looking rig.
It's got some tasteful mods on it.
I like it. Yes, exhaust, it appears, huh? Yes.
It has the blued
The
tip.
blues, just the tips.
Just the bluing on just the
Just
tip.
the blue tips. Yes. He's got the right tires on it. Michelin Super Sports.
Yep. Nice black wheels.
But my favorite part of these cars, which I guess the owner can forgive me for sitting in it, my rear end is clean, as you can see. It's very, very, very clean. I love the gearboxes in these.
Yes, and that one has
Very mechanical feeling.
upgraded shifter cables, so it's
Oh,
even
really?
smoother.
Yeah. Oh, it's just, it feels so mechanical, so old school. It's nice. Must be, is it shift rods or is it cables?
The cables.
They're cables?
Yeah.
It feels like beefy shift rods, but I guess it's not. Yeah. I fit in this thing.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's nice to have that little back seat even if it's not usable, but then for tall people, this is actually a car you can fit in.
Yep.
Yeah, look, that's a long way to go, and I'm 6'2" or 3.
Good
on
for tall
the
people.
Doug scale. Yes.
Smells like English leather.
It does, yes.
Smells very good in this car.
And it's soft on the dash, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very nice.
Those controls look very, very familiar too. I think they're Ford.
Yeah, the font is a little Ford, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's Ford buttons and.
But quite an interior upgrade from the original Elise.
Yeah, and it doesn't have these giant rails on the side that are hard to get in and out of the Elise. They're not too bad on this one.
I like it.
Yep.
Sold.
Something else we fixed on this car, if you watch the previous video, on the driver's side, when you go to lift up on the handle, the window should drop like this. And it clears the weather seal. It goes back up. Did you smash your finger?
No, I'm just being goofy.
Okay. It wasn't doing that on the other side. We ended up having to replace the entire window regulator because inside of it there's settings when it remembers kind of like a memory setting where the window is up and down, and it lost that. It was gone.
And that's not a Camry part, I assume?
No, that was a Lotus part.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
How
like
much?
$1,200 or $1,400 just for the regulator.
Lovely.
But that's what it's supposed to do.
Okay.
Both sides do that now. It's working great for him. So thanks for following along. I wanted to show you guys what we went through to figure out what is wrong with this car. And it was actually kind of difficult at first. Me and Magic Mike are like, is this suspension issues, tires, brakes? What in the world's going on here? After a couple of days of digging, we absolutely have found the issue. It is the steering rack. And hopefully you don't have to buy a rack on one of your cars, because I know that would be expensive on that. Well, maybe not on that, but on the other one.
Racks are expensive.
Yes.
Yes.
Way more expensive on one of those, though.
Depends on if you use silicone or
The saline?
saline. Yes, it depends.
You don't want to put saline or silicone in one of the steering racks.
No,
so
no. Oh, okay. All right.
that's what's going to end up getting done to this car to fix it. If you're curious what kind of tools we use to fix these cars, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. Get a small cut. Really appreciate that. All the tools are listed there for sale. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, I really recommend you do that now so he can quit Googling at you and we can finish the video. Thanks for watching. But not that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
I jumped ahead. Oh
Yeah.
no. Oh no.
We jumped ahead.
Go. Okay, Keith.
Okay.
Doing labor in a Car Wizard video. No.
No, we don't do that.
No, we only talk about doing stuff.
We don't actually do it.
No. So what's the original color?
The original color, we'll open the door and I'll show you.
Key?
Key fob. Must have locked itself. There, should open. It's up. Now,
Aha.